Hola chamas y chamos, welcome back to a new episode of Álvaro Dev Labs. Today we're gonna continue our journey by creating a sushi recipe app using Storyblok and Nuxt version 3. If you remember correctly, in the past episode we created a landing page with a hero component. We specified the schema for this hero or block in Storyblok, and we added the content there. We checked how the visual editor was working, changing the content and having visual feedback right away. And also we added some call to actions into our component. In that tutorial we covered the basics, so today we are gonna dig more in a real world scenario. We are gonna create some categories and we are gonna create some recipes. These are gonna be content types in the Storyblok and we are gonna link them together. That means that we will be able to filter our recipes by category. But first, some words about our sponsors that make possible this video. This video is sponsored by Storyblok. Looking for a CMS solution that is great both for marketing teams and developers? Look no further. Storyblok is the headless CMS solutions that you always wanted to have. See how easy it is to change content for your website with a real-time visual editor, creating a delightful customer experience for your teams. Go from a content update to production in no time. Storyblok is easily integrable with multiple tech stacks, making your dev team's life easier. Go and try it for free at storyblok.com. So similar to last time, we are gonna check the design first. So I created a really quick design for this part. Just basically a section that we are gonna add an image here, some title, and we are gonna have our categories here, at least the principal ones. It's gonna be, I wasn't that much creative with it, just put the ones that I like the most, which is ramen, sushi, and obviously desserts. Okay, so we're gonna create these categories also in a Storyblok and we're gonna fetch them in the front end. And for this part here, we're also gonna create recipes, okay, with an image and some title, and we are going to link each one of them to a specific category, okay? So I'm gonna show you how you can create the categories also in Storyblok. For your blog, for example, you can have articles with a certain category, and we are gonna link the recipes with the categories and show them. And probably in the next part of this series, we could build a search for only checking the recipes of a certain category. We will see. Okay, so for now, this is what we are gonna build today. So this was our page the last time we left it, and we have the hero component. So if you remember correctly, this card changes. I don't know what changes that I have, but let's save it. So if I go here to dashboard content block, okay, here we need to create another block, right? We created one for the hero component here. So we could create another one, and even I will be really pragmatic here. I'm going to create or duplicate the block, okay, and just edit it. So if we go to edit mode, because we need the media item, which is basically the one that we have here in the design. So we need an image here and a title, and this is the part that is going to change because here we have a certain different content like actions. We're going to do it in a different way, right? So we can actually remove the text. We're not going to need it, and we sure not going to need the actions for now. Also, it will be nice to put it in a different, so it's going to be category section. Okay. Here is gonna be category section. Cool, preview template. Yeah, I don't know, this one looks in. Okay, save. Okay, now we have our category section, right? And as you remember, we also need to create one here in our code. I already create some markup here for the category section, but I have it under components. We will need to pass it into a Storyblok folder. If you remember correctly, we need for all our blocks to define it in the Storyblok folder so the SDK can out-import them, okay, into the solution. Here I have the orange like tint That was the graphic on top of the section and some classes to define. That's fair enough. We are going to copy some of the things here. First of all, define props. We are gonna define the same type of prop, which is gonna be block. Okay, look at our section here. That's one thing, and we probably want to give it a little bit of styling. Let's go back to Figma. So we are gonna have probably flex with one section here and the image in the other side, right? I'm going to, this one is gonna be kept there. I have a div container class with mx auto. Why the element is not auto completing? I don't understand why. Okay, class. For now, I'm gonna just give more space for implementation. Container mx auto. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Flex justify between, and inside we're gonna create another div which is gonna contain for now our heading. I'm really lazy today. How was the I don't want to say that. Yeah, it was a hero h1, or probably I want an h2, so we can easily replace that here, since it's gonna use the same property here in category section is media and title, so we're gonna use the same thing. That's fine. Okay, also prettier. Why are you not working anymore? What is wrong with you? I don't know, my editor is funny today. Cool, this is gonna be one of them. We want to give it a fair amount of space, so probably 2/3 of the whole thing. And we want also an image, which the autocomplete is giving me one thing, but I not necessarily want that. I want something like this one. So here we can of course create a div here with a class of 1/3 to hold that media. Okay, come on, autocomplete, what is happening to you? I feel so Neanderthal whenever the auto formatting stuff is not working. I had to do it manually like in the old days, and it feels weird. So let's save it and see what happens. Of course, we are not adding this in the Storyblok yet, so we are not gonna see anything on it yet. So for that, we are going to go to content, home, and we are going to add it here. Add block, so we have the category section here. Let's add an asset. So I need to export this from Figma. So we're gonna add that asset, right? If you remember correctly, we can go to the asset manager by clicking it, and in downloads I have the Clay iPhone Pro thingy. I'm not gonna add that much stuff, but of course for accessibility I add the alt and everything. Okay, we're gonna use it, that's fine. And I don't remember the unleash your creativity while cooking, these marketing guys. Nah, it was me. Okay, for some reason we are not able to see it on the code. Why could be that? If I check my terminal, probably it's not recognizing that component because I just created, so I'm just gonna restart it. And just close this here. I'm going to Chrome again. Okay, what is your problem, Chrome? Why you're like that? Oh, because it's HTTPS. HTTPS. Okay, so let's see what is going on this vector. Ooh, this vector is really small. Let's just add some zoom here so you can things better. Components, you're not in the storybook. Okay, what is happening? Yeah, okay. I think I know what is happening. So the name of it, right, is not the same. Okay, this is good because here we have call to action. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. So here we need to put call to section. Let's save it again. It needs to be the same as we are having here in the front end. So in the front end we have categories section. Categories section. Okay, let's see if that makes sense. It did, and it looks terrible. I love it. What we can do for that, we can give it a little bit more of a C height. Here also the text cannot be trimmed. It needs to be at least white. So put it on white. Probably we want also to put some paddings for this. So let's not focus that much on the design. It stills under this beauty here. Yeah, I know why, because I'm using relative here. So if I put this absolute.
One eternity later.
Now we need this to be like this. So that's fine. We could actually do the following thing. We can grab this bad boy here. Put a div. And put set to 10. An absolute and full width, and inside of it we use the other one. Okay, let's see if it works. Yeah, looking better. Nice. So this div is gonna be center. Perfect. Okay, we have it. Now we need to create the categories. For the categories, we can go here on the dashboard, and where we are defining our content, we can create a new folder. This folder, we're gonna call it categories. And here we are going to define the content type. So since we haven't created the content type yet, by content type I refer to, for example, the one that pages have is a content type. So we are gonna create one called category. We can deny changing content type, which is gonna be yeah, and disable visual composer, also probably yeah for now. So let's create it. And if we go inside, we can start adding our categories, right? If we go to Figma, we see that the categories have two things. It has a title, it has an icon, okay? Here we can add the story. So we are going to call it ramen. Okay, the slug is going to be this one, and it's going to be inside of the. Okay, so we can define. This is cool because we haven't defined the schema yet of the block fields. So in this case, it's going to allow us to create for category content type the different fields that we need. Here I'm going to add one that is going to be the title of their category, okay, or no, not even title, not even name, label, okay. So yeah, all good. And we also need an image, which I'm going to call it icon because it's just an icon. Here we have multiple options. I'm just going to create an asset for it and add it. And then I think we could even restrict what kind of it is an image, and we can we can set like the default assets folder, but for now we don't need it. Okay, so we have these two things here. Let's create one. So this is the ramen one, right? So it's gonna be ramen, and we need to export this icon somehow. So I'm gonna go here, but instead of taking the one here, well, no, let's do that. So for ramen, we could do SVG. Let's see if with SVG we can do it. So export. I'm going to try to save it in our app. Sushi wood, public. Okay, so ramen icon. So on this one here of the onigiri. So same thing as VG, export onigiri, and for the mochis, we are going to export the mochi sauce. So SVG, export. Let's see if it looks good though. I don't know. Let's see if we can import it first. Upload, GitHub, sushi wood here, public. Yeah, it seems like it. So ramen, open. Oh, nice. This is what I love, the Storyblok. Everything works. So let's upload it. We have the ramen one. Let's upload right away these two more, onigiri and mochi, to have it already there. So yeah, onigiri and mochi, that's fine. But I want to select this one. Okay, now we're talking. Cool. I'm gonna save it and probably go to create another one. So cool thing is that I don't need to go back in the Storyblok version 2. I can browse the content here, and between the categories, maybe I can add another one, right? So another story of content type category, which is gonna be called sushi. Okay, and now that we are in the same thing, oh, okay, well, fair. Sushi, and let's add the asset. It's gonna be this one. We're gonna save it, go to another one, and this is gonna be desserts. Okay. Ooh, what's wrong? Okay, que no cunda el pánico. Desserts is gonna be desserts, and we are gonna add the mochi icon here. Okay, that looks about right? What else do we need? What we need now is to fetch the categories in the front end and show the buttons that we had in the design, right? So if we go to the editor, here in the categories section, I could do it here, like fetching it with the composables that comes with the SDK, but we are going to create another composable to handle all the calls to the Storyblok API with that one. Okay, so we're gonna create something that's called use recipes, because at the end we want to fetch the recipes. We could create another one only for the categories, that's fine. Let's do it. So use categories, okay. And here can we export a function called use categories, okay. We need to return something, and what we are going to create here is a state, a local state, which is gonna be reactive, and categories, and we could just return two refs. Okay. So to refs, what it's going to do is going to convert all the properties in the reactive to individual refs. That's fine. So we want to create a function that allows us to get the categories for just fetch the categories, right? So here we can use directly the Storyblok API. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to create the data here equal to await, and that will make that this function is synchronous. So await a Storyblok API, but yeah, we need to add it here. So we need a Storyblok API equal so this is the composable that gives access to the API, and we need to get I will try something because let's do it like in the documentation with the stories like this, but I want to try if we can add like a slash and it will work, right? I'm not sure about that. For the version we are doing in draft, but something that I do often to not having to put it everywhere is like I put process and environment node m, and if it's production I will get the JSON from the published version, and if not I'm gonna grab the draft one. And let's go back to a Storyblok, and you see here that we have a folder. Okay, maybe it's even more visible here in the content. So if I go back, okay, we have a folder that is called categories, and between that we have organized all our content types categories here. So we are interested in fetching those. So what we are going to do is that we are going to pass here in the options, a part of the version, something that's called starts with. Okay, and starts with categories, okay, because this is the folder that we're gonna get. We also need to pass a start page. It's a start page because it could be false. Sorry, we could have a categories page for this. So we want all the stories that are in between. That's fine. So whenever we have this data, it's gonna be state categories equal to that story. That's fine. Okay, we can return this on the composable, and for now we're not gonna use recipes, so I'm gonna just close it. But here we can say cons categories equal use categories, right? Well, in this case it's okay because we are using only categories for recipes, but if this project was bigger and you have a different kind of content types with categories, then you probably will not create a separate composable for it. You probably will add it inside of your use recipes, for example. Okay, in this case I'm doing it this way. Let's see if it actually works. You know, the magic of the live of recording videos, it never works when you are recording, so let's test it out. Yeah. Okay, so now the array is empty for some reason. Let's debug why could be the reason. If we go here and we check the calls to Storyblok, we can see that we are getting one for home, but actually we are not. Okay, because we need to fetch them. Of course, what you were thinking. So we are gonna do an await to fetch the categories. Okay, and now it's working. So now we have here all our categories fetched from here. We can still see it in the network tab. This is important for debugging. So we are doing a call for API Storyblok CDN stories version draft, and it starts with categories. And this is gonna return us this object with all the categories here. Okay. So we need the name, probably the slug, yeah, but the icon is inside of the content, right? Yes, it is. Okay. So we want to create the following UI. We want to create 3 different blocks here. What we can do here in the fetch categories is that we can create somehow some kind of computer property, counts formatted categories, which is going to be a computed. I'm going to just return the state categories. We are gonna map it, and for the category we only need the name. Yeah, I need to put it here. So name and content. Okay, and we're gonna return an object that have the name, and it has the icon, which is gonna be a content icon, I think. Why is this complaining? It needs another one, right? Yeah, okay, fine. So we're gonna return this computer property of this getter, okay, that we're using the composition API. And here we are going to import that. So formatted categories, let's see what we have here once we change it. Okay, well, the icon is fine, we have that. Okay, so now let's replace this pre here with a list. Would it work? Yeah, finally. Nice. So I guess it will make sense to have this as flex. Maybe a grid. Yeah, why not a grid? Grid call straight. This is not really scalable because we need only the first 3, right? If we create more categories, where is it? If we create more categories, we don't want to fill all of these with a lot of different buttons here. So maybe we should restrict it to the first 3. That will be one thing. You can slice this from 0 to 3. 0 to 3? 0 to 2? I don't remember. Okay, let's see if it still works. Yeah, okay. Fine about that. And here, what do we want to do with v if we want to iterate category of categories, formatted categories. It's gonna have a key, which is gonna be probably, well, if we do this correctly, I guess we should use some idea about here, UUID maybe. So let's add that to our formatting. UUID, it's fine. We need it here, and we are gonna use it here. So it's gonna be category. We can use the UUID. We can deconstruct here, and we're gonna create a little card. So for the card, we are going to choose background white, shadow foliage maybe, rounded foliage, some padding, flex call. For the image, we're gonna use a normal image. Maybe we can set, maybe we can set the width and the height, right? One more, just like 76 pixels. So 70 pixels, maybe height 76 pixels. I'm not sure if this is gonna work out. So we have the media, right? Media here, and let's put also the name. I think it was the name. So media alt source medium file name. It's saying maybe it doesn't exist. Oh no, it was icon. Come on guys, you need to tell me this kind of things. So it was icon. And let's just put an H3 with shrimp. Yep, that's fine. Well, maybe this is too big, but let's see how it looks. Okay, we have the search for some reason the icon it is not showing, right? Let's figure out why. We have here, we have the yeah, that's brilliant, Alvaro. This is the class, not the source. Fine. We have it there. So for this one, maybe we can margin button a little bit, like 2 or 4ish. And something else that I want is that this is it justifies center. So everything is center. Let's see how that looks. Didn't do it. Why? It is item center of. So maybe it's item center. And also we should add some gap here. Gap 4. Yeah, it's not that bad. Maybe a bit more. 8. I don't know. It's pretty good, but it's pretty like it's taking the UL is taking the whole thing, right? We don't want that. We don't want that to happen. Yeah, maybe I can just put here a width. So W 2/3 of the 2/3. No, 12/3. Who wants that? Not that bad. Could be better. Cosmetic stuff for here. Maybe 8 here. I'm not gonna worry that much about that. Okay, very good. For now, we're gonna leave it without the actual links. Okay, we are gonna do that in later. I don't know, padding Y8. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, we can actually continue. I'm going to fix a little bit the CSS, but that's not the important part for this tutorial. So we are almost in the half of the tutorial. Now let's focus on creating the recipes and link them to the categories. Here I have a little design. So after the section that we just made, we're gonna create a grid with different cards for each one of the recipes that we create in the Storyblok. Before we jump into the UI and to create this in Vue, I want to create the similar way that we create the categories. Let's create the recipes. So we go to content, and here we are gonna create another folder. And sorry about my voice. I wake up with allergy, so I have this deep radio host voice. So sorry about that. We're gonna call it recipes, and we are gonna add a new type of content type, which is gonna be a recipe. Okay, so we created. We go inside and let's create our first recipe. So we're gonna create the story. This one is gonna be called, let's see, healthy ramen. Healthy ramen. That doesn't make sense. All the ramens are healthy. And parent folded. Oh, cool. So let's define the schema. You will see that it will try to like preview a page. This is gonna be the detail page, but for now this is gonna be part of another tutorial. Let's focus on the recipe itself. I think you can somewhere here on the settings. For now we could choose only to have the form. Okay, so save and close, and we can focus on this for now. So what things do we need? We need a title for the recipe, and we need an image. So as normal, we use medium. Okay. Then we need to link the category. So
Hey everyone, we're making cute links from links away.
sorry, I've been practicing 3D and I have a video, and because the guy is so fast I had to put it like in a slow speed, and every time he plays it sounds like he's drunk. So sorry about that. I will minimize it. Okay, going back to our recipes and categories. So the idea will be that we have this content type here, which is the recipes, and we have categories, right? And we want that we have each recipe can have only one category, okay? But multiple recipes can have the same category, okay? Something like this. So how do we achieve that? We go then to here, okay, and we need to add something to choose a category for our recipe, right? So we are gonna create a category, a field here, and we're gonna use a single option type of field. Okay, so this is gonna be categories, and here there is a field that is called source. So in source, you can check for different source like external JSON, data source, languages, and so on. We're gonna choose stories, okay? And we want to choose the ones from the categories. This case was the default of the placeholder, right? And we can also restrict what type of content. In this case, we're gonna use the category, okay? So all seems fine. Let's go back. So this is gonna be the healthy ramen. For the asset, I'm gonna load some assets here. It's important to say that I got these images. Let's go to Figma. So the page that I found them is pixels, like pixels, but the first is a chain, and who are the owners, like Rodney, Cotton Row. I also got some others with Anastasia Belusova, just to get these images here. Okay, so all the even if it's they're free, all the credits for the photographers. Okay, going back to here, I'm gonna upload them all. So yeah, we probably should put some proper namings, right? Copyright. So for the copyright, yeah, we could do that. We could say this is for Rodney Productions, Pixels Rodney Productions. The name is Healthy Ramen. No, this one, no. This is actually crispy roll, salmon cream roll. For the alt text, I'm probably going to use this title here. Tags, we don't have tags for images, but that's fine. So save. Okay, we save, we load them. And we were doing the healthy ramen first, right? So I'm gonna choose this, yes. And in categories, we will have all categories, and here you have the label, so to speak, and here is the slug. So we're gonna use ramen. Let's save it and let's create the other two. So as always, we can do it from here. Let's create another story. This one is gonna be the crispy thingy. Crunchy seed salmon and cream rolls. Fancy. Let's create it again here. So for the asset, we're gonna use this asset, and category we are gonna use sushi. Okay, let's save it. Another one. You see how quick it's to create content, to be fair. This is gonna be 3 emojis. Another recipe, yeah. 3 emojis. Asset, this one. And category is gonna be desserts. Cool. We have our 3 recipes right now. So, next step is gonna be to fetch them in the front end. Probably before that, we should create another story like block, right? I'm gonna create a new block here. The technical name could be how I call it, recipe grid or recipe list. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be like recipe list, and it's gonna be a nested block. Yeah, block. Okay, so what we need is a title or headline. That's fine, and we don't need anything else, to be fair, for now. Okay, so let's continue creating in view. So let's go back to the homepage, and here I'm gonna add the recipe list block. We're gonna put the name on it, so the title, which is called recipes. And let's create, as we did with the other ones, let's create another Storyblok. And this one is gonna be recipes list. So we need an SVC setup. I'm gonna just copy and paste this part here, block, and here. Let's create a recipes list. This one is gonna be like I normally create like a div that is full width, okay, on top, like full, and then inside I create the one with the container. So this one is gonna be the container. Also is gonna be a max auto. We can use the H2 to put the block title. I don't know why the autocomplete is not giving me like the same structure like this one, so I'm going to copy and paste it because I'm really lazy today. Instead of how do you I always put it wrong, the name of shrimp. Where is it? Oh, it's easier than I thought. Okay, so I put it here, probably, I don't know, 500 maybe. Seems fine. We probably need also to restart our server so it gets the new one. And just below here is where we are going to put our recipes, right? But before we do that, I want to be able to fetch them. Okay, let's do it here. So we created not long before I used recipes here, right? So support function composable recipes, use recipes, and we are gonna return something. On top of this, I'm gonna create, I think I don't need to do it manually. I think Nuxt has like a composable called user state or something like that, but I'm gonna do it really quick with this. So recipes, and we are going to do a to refs state. Okay, for now all good. So how do we fetch them? We can fetch them in a similar way that we did the categories, right? So here in the categories, I'm just gonna copy and paste a little bit of this. Okay, we're gonna put it here. So instead of fetch categories, it's fetch recipes, right? And we want the ones that starts with recipes, okay, instead of the other one. So here recipes, that's fine. I think I have something not that correct. I think it's because I'm missing here. So, okay, yeah, cool. So all fine. In the recipes list, let's just get them. So it's gonna be recipes and fetch, fetch recipes from use recipes, exactly. And see, let's see what happens. So we create a pre, we add it here, and we try to fetch them. Okay, let's see in the browser if we have something. Okay, so for some reason we can see the new thingy, the new how you say, section, so to speak. Actually, we should put it like a section, to be honest. So recipes list should be like a section, maybe, and this should be our. Okay, but why are you not rendering? Let's go here. Maybe it's the same issue as we had before. Ah, no, we didn't save it. Okay, so recipes, save it. Okay, that was the reason. So we have it here. Let's do the usual. So how many I put here? Categories be full 8. Okay, margin top. I don't think about the margin top. We need that much. What I want is in the container. Oh, somewhere here we put this one. Okay, this is what I want. It's in the recipes list. We could even put it here, and maybe it will look better. Yes. So you can see here that we have our recipes, right? But I want you to check something here in the category. We are getting a UUID, so we're not getting the category right away, or the fields between the category. We need them because we need the icon to put it here. So how do we do it? With the Storyblok API here in the use recipes. I don't remember how it was called. Resolve, yes, resolve relationships. So in resolve relationship, what we're telling it is that please add the content, or like fetch it internally instead of giving me the UUID. Okay, so if you go back to the code, probably we need to refresh. Why it's not working? So it's giving me the category. Oh no, should be working. Resolve category. Resolve relationship category. Let's see if it's because I put the name incorrectly. Come on, what is happening?
Several days later.
So I managed to figure out what was wrong. Sorry about that. For at the time of this tutorial, for the version 2 of the API, which is the one that is being used for the calls of the SDKs, this one, seems like there is an issue because here it's not resolving, okay, the categories. Even if you pass here in the header, you pass the resolve relationships category, is not doing it, okay? If I follow this one and I put the version 1, it is indeed doing it. For example, I'm going to show you the one that they use in the documentation, okay? Because I don't want to expose my token. But here, they have this example, okay? API Storyblok, CDN, resolves, and in the documentation, it's shown that they're being resolved correctly, right? But if we go here, and we open a new tab with it, when we enter, we will see that it no longer resolve the categories. But if you change this one for the B1, you will see that in the version 1 it is doing it. So I guess it's a bug. I open a bug in the Storyblok so they can check it out, okay? But we can have a workaround with this, because if you see here in the object that it returns, there is an array called rels that give us the categories. So, well, I mean, we can use this. It's fair enough. Okay, I didn't know that it exists, but it has all of the different categories, so we can even match them with this, I guess. Okay, so let's work with that. For doing that, we will need to have these rels here. Okay, and probably for each one of the histories, we're gonna map them. We are going to return recipe. So it's gonna be recipe, but inside of content, we're gonna recipe content and categories. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work this way because it's not an object. So yeah, exactly. So we need to find the one with the UID. Okay, so it's gonna be rels find, it's not an object, it's an array, find a category, which UID category, let's put it like this. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's hope it works. Is equal to content, no, content category. No, recipe content category. And of course, since this is wrong, it should be like this, like this. Okay. So we want the one that the UUID is equal. Well, yeah. Okay. And then we don't want the category name. We want the actual object. Okay, let's see if this works. So let's refresh here. Yeah, it didn't because I'm doing something wrong. So properties of fine. Okay, that's fair. Recipe. Okay, what's wrong with the content? So we have recipe content, right? Category. Recipe content. Rels is undefined. Amigo, because it's data. Okay. Totally true. So it's data rels. Okay, fair. Okay, we managed to do it here. That's fine. Fair enough. A little bit more code, but it's working. So right now we have our categories being inside of the object. Okay, so we don't have to do extra stuff. Next step will be to create the UI component. Okay, so this is the cool part. Let's go here, and this we already have it working, so we only need to get the recipes. In this case, I'm not going to format them. I'm pretty lazy at this point, so I'm just gonna create a div here. It's gonna be a grid. We probably want a grid that calls 3 for now. Gap. Yeah. Come on, Emmett. Why you work sometimes and sometimes you don't? It makes me really, really nervous. Sometimes it does it correctly, sometimes it's really painful. Anyhow, so we have a div here. Okay. And we're gonna create some articles. So for recipe of recipes, and this article is gonna be our card, I guess. Yeah, let's do it with a card. So what we want to achieve with the card styles, I'm gonna be really quick, is I'm gonna add a class, and it's gonna be background white, it's gonna be rounded LG to achieve the borders, okay? But we do want to be overflow. Why? Because when we add the image inside, we want to follow the corner, right? So we do it like this, then we add image here, and I think I can deconstruct the recipe. So maybe we should also put a key here. So key is gonna be the UID. Then we need a media, and media here. Let's put media file name, media. Okay, media alt. Okay. We want this one to be full width, I guess. We could add aspect ratio. I'm gonna check if this CSS has something for that. So then we need the content inside. Now that type of content, we want to have like a div with P4 maybe. Come on, Emmett. Class P4. Okay. An H3, I guess, for each one of them. And this is gonna be the name. Well, wait. Yeah, I think I'm doing it correctly because we have the UID here. So we have the UUID. Okay, UUID. So this is gonna be the UUID, and then we need content. And in this content is gonna be the media. Okay. Like this, right? Uh-huh. Okay, we see something. Nice. A little bit big, but okay. So what about 12 here? Is it gonna be too much? Fair enough. For the article, what else do we want to have? We want to have a really light shadowing. Yeah, fair enough. What's happening with the name? We didn't put any content. Title. Yeah. So yeah, we need to add them some styles. So it's gonna be like font, bold, text, shrimp. I never remember how to pronounce it. Like this, okay. Yeah. But it's way darker than this, so it's probably 700 or something like that. And maybe we could even put it like a width of the half of the. Yeah. Whoa. Too much. 600. Better. Okay. What else do we want in that? Well, the image is quite big, to be fair. What if we put it like one? Yeah, but the cards are gonna be big, so that's fine. Okay, I'm not quite happy, but it is what it is. Let me see if reducing the size looks better. Not really, but we can work with that. Maybe this one needs to be a little bit bigger. You know, cosmetics. I'm gonna just solve the cosmetics and we can jump to the next part. Okay, so we want to add also like a circle into here with the category icon, right? Here. Okay, so that's why we create the relationship. Where can we put it? We could use this one as a relative one, and just here we could have a span probably. Background gray, 200, 300. Rounded full because we want a circle. I don't know if it's full or circle. Round that full. Probably it's round. And inside here, we're gonna create an image because the icon is an image. So to go to that one, we need content, category, content, category, content, icon, file name. This is gonna go wrong, but okay, let's try it out. Let's check the size. How much size do we have here? Fair enough, 36. Class 36 pixels and height 36 pixels. Okie dokie. Let's see. Oh, it worked. Well, kinda. We do have the icon here, but what happened with the circle? So the round background gray. Okay. Let's see what we can do for this bad boy here. So I don't know why the background doesn't seem to work, and I want it to be absolute. I want it to have right like 0 and minus top, I don't know. Let's put a number and we can adapt to it. Okay. Okay. So it is doing something. Oh, of course, right? We don't want right. We want to like right 8. Yeah, something like that looks good. We can do two things. We could have it on a specific width, or we can just add padding. Let's try it with the padding. Ooh, terrible with the padding. Maybe less padding. And also, I think we can pass this to the previous value. Okay. Okay, I know what's wrong, and the problem is that our icon, at least the one that is coming, is with this color, and since we cannot use SVGs directly, it's gonna look wrong. Like in the design, we put it in this color gray. So we can do two things. We could upload this to our Storyblok, but then we will have to have two different. We can also ideas. We could have those icons as SVGs in our project and just pass like an ID or something. In this case, I'm not gonna break my head and just gonna change the color here. The color I never learned. And I'm going to put something like 100 to see how it looks, but probably a little bit more. Well, it's quite subtle. I don't especially like it. For like you barely can see it, but it is what it is. What happens if I could put here like oh, it does it? Oh, kinda. Yeah, it kinda does it, but this one is different from this one because this one has 2 lines. Okay, and what if I put min width here? So min height of 200 pixels. Okay, so it's too much. Maybe, I don't know, 25%. Well, actually, if we want to do it correctly, we should check this one. It's around 67. So we should do half of it, like 33 dot something. Well, it's not exact, but it works. So yeah, that will be pretty much for today. Of course, we can we can tweak the designs and try to do it a little bit better, because these images for me are too they had too much height, so we could put an aspect ratio, probably aspect ratio of no 69, and also I think it's like this, right, without deforming them. I don't know. I have to investigate. The most I always do this. Like I always change it, but whatever, it's working. So that's pretty much for today. I think what's next is that we are gonna create the detail page for each one of these. Also a page to fetch all the recipes like we did here, but for a specific category, and how to do it with Nuxt and Storyblok. And that's pretty much for today's video. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions about the implementation, you can check the code in the description and also add some comments to ask me anything. If you do so, subscribe or drop a like. It means a lot. In the next episode, we're gonna cover how to do the detail page for each recipe and how to render all the markdown or rich text editor fields into our front. See you in the next one. Bye.